Look around. The systems we once relied on are collapsing under their own weight. This failure is a direct result of a rotten foundation. Society has embraced a slave morality, an inverted value system that actively punishes individual greatness and rewards blind compliance. That same rot seeps into our personal lives. We find ourselves trapped in what psychologists call fear bonding. Instead of connecting as equals, we play codependent roles: the caregiver, the peacemaker, the rescuer, bartering away our authenticity to extract validation from others. Playing these characters is exhausting. It breeds a quiet, suffocating resentment. You drain your spiritual energy to maintain a mask, and in the process, you lose connection with your true will, the unique, intrinsic path you are actually meant to follow. Surviving this era does not mean trying to patch up a dying system. It requires an absolute rejection of the codependent premise entirely. The required alternative is a shift to master morality. This is the proud, unapologetic affirmation of your own life and your true will, recognizing that your individual consciousness is the primary engine of all value. This sets the stage for sovereign bonding. These are connections forged exclusively between complete, self-actualized equals. You associate out of genuine respect and shared purpose, never out of fear or needy reliance. You cannot build a strong network by carrying parasites. To protect your own potential, you have to actively repel the manipulative and the perpetually dependent. This image of philosopher Ayn Rand frames our ultimate choice. Look at the engraved text behind her. We must choose between a morality of rational self-interest, living to fulfill your highest potential, or a morality of altruism, sacrificing yourself to appease the mob. An unshakable collective cannot be built from broken parts. To forge a strong, resilient community, every single member must first achieve absolute individual independence. We can see the origin of this interpersonal blueprint in Ayn Rand's novel The Fountainhead, shown here. The protagonist, Howard Rourke, is the archetype of the sovereign, an unyielding architect who creates by his own vision, standing entirely apart from a society of second-handers who constantly seek public approval. Rourke's total refusal to compromise his designs did not isolate him. Instead, his hyper-independence acted as a powerful sovereign magnet. That intense gravity naturally repels people seeking unearned pity, but it effortlessly attracts other sovereign creators, individuals drawn together by a shared reverence for the creative spirit and an uncompromising dedication to excellence. This text breaks down the specific mechanics of that attraction. It shows how the concept of affection actually derives from recognizing moral value in another person's character. You cannot feel true affection for someone unless you first respect their competence and their ethical standards. At the interpersonal level, a high-value friendship is always an upward glance. It is a mutual exchange of respect and admiration between equals, never a downward glance of pity or a bond built on shared misery. If we scale this up, a critical strategic question emerges. What is the protocol when the entire world becomes a parasitic mob, actively demanding your sacrifice? Rand answered this in Atlas Shrugged with The Strike. The prime movers, the inventors, the industrialists, the creators, execute a strategic withdrawal. They pull their energy, their intellect, and their divine spark completely out of the collapsing system. The mechanics of this exodus are precise. Creators sever their connection to the state, forming a decentralized sanctuary known as Galt's Gulch. This society operates on unbreakable rules: no coercion, no forced sacrifice. Every interaction is a voluntary, frictionless trade of value for value. This proves a crucial paradox. Staunch individualism does not destroy a community. It is the absolute prerequisite for any society based on actual competence and genuine consent. We have to bring these concepts down to your immediate psychological reality. You cannot enter a space like Galt's Gulch if your own mind is still ruled by unresolved shadows and external conditioning. Here is the harsh prerequisite for joining the sovereign tribe. You will never attract a Howard Rourke if you are playing the victim. You have to become high value to yourself first. You have to learn to weaponize your own anxieties. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, you transmute it into the exact fuel required to stand completely alone. To reclaim your divine spark, Perform an internal ritual of surrender. Discard the false crown and societal masks in the dirt, completely rejecting external validation. Only when you have mastered those inner shadows, and you are completely unafraid to stand alone, can you begin to form bonds of true choice and unbreakable power. The old world is hitting its limit. As the centralized pillars of that society continue to fracture, the only structures left standing will be the independent nodes of the sovereign tribe. Start mastering your inner world today. Download our free Fear Transmutation Manual to learn the precise steps for turning your daily anxiety into sovereign fuel. Follow the channel to join the tribe. Commit to forging high-value relationships. And tell us in the comments below, what is the one specific virtue you absolutely refuse to compromise in your inner circle?